What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. You're watching TWA Motorsports, and today we're gonna do a little OBS pickup work. Guys, look, I'm trying to sell some stuff to buy something. We've talked about this. So what that means is I'm kind of short on cash, and so I'm not doing anything really big out here right now because of that, okay? I'm just waiting to free up some cash. Once we get that done, hopefully things will get rolling again. But today, I've got the OBS on jacks by Go Jacks, right? So I can kind of maneuver it around and get it out of the way of the 72 and the 55 and all the other projects that are in here. But as you can see, this truck at some point had a really terrible paintless dent repair. Now, look, my painter fixed all the imperfections in the roof, but this is not normally how a PDR guy would fix this stuff. There's been a bunch of holes drilled and really terrible job, to be honest with you, but they've pried against it and made it look really crappy. And so doing some cheap stuff today, I'm going to focus on trying to get the roof done in kill mat. I'm going to attempt to get the carpet and the seats out and possibly start on that area as well. So we'll just kind of see where we get, but I thought it would make my life a lot easier if we were able to do some kill mat with the seat in place, okay? Instead of reaching so far up, I'll just have a little better option here, I feel like, if I do it this way. So that's kind of how I'm going to start this project. I really need to go check out my trim pieces to make sure, because you could see we don't want to cover those areas or possibly even these. I don't really know if that goes forward or backwards or how that goes. I don't remember, guys. You may have to help me out when I get a little further in the process. So what I'm going to plan on doing then is I'll go to like this area right here forward. I am going to leave these in place in case we reuse the factory piece. And then I don't know if this is normal or not, but you can see how there's these inserts or these things to catch the screw as they come through. I don't know if there's supposed to be one there or not. I would imagine there should be. And so we probably should try to get a couple of those as well. But either way, let's go grab my kill mat. I'm gonna grab some alcohol so we can wipe this down. We make sure we got a good surface to this adhere to, and let's get started. Now, as I said, my product of choice here is kill mat. Guys have had really good luck with it. It's been great stuff. But I will tell you, and I'm gonna list all this in the description down below, we need to wipe it down with some alcohol. It's got some 91% here, a towel. I'm gonna wipe it down over there, kind of work my way this direction. I also, like I said, I got to find another one of these clips. Not a big deal. I'll find one of those. I've got a couple of those, and I'm choosing to use the 50. Okay, this is 50 mil on the roof. Okay, we're gonna probably use 80 everywhere else, but I don't know how much room we're gonna have or play with these holes in here because they're kind of bent. I don't want to have any issue running the 80. Now the 80 is not a ton thicker, but it is thicker. But I'm choosing to go with 50. So I'm gonna get started. Like I said, I'm gonna kind of, I think I'm gonna start on that side, and I'm just gonna cut in and out on this portion because I don't have a great way or great lighting to show you me doing the roof. But let's get it wiped down with the alcohol, go get our rollers. I will tell you that laying these big pieces is way easier, but I did come over the lip just a little bit. I don't want it to show, right? I don't want to have the chance that it shows. I don't think it will there. In fact, I know it won't there, but it'll make whoever, if this thing ever had PDR done again, they would never be able to do it like this. I actually had a guy come out and do some PDR work on this truck before I decided to paint it, and he told me that they're not supposed to do this. They're not supposed to drill any holes in order to repair stuff. They said that that's a big no-no. As far as for insurance purposes. But we've got our first piece in place, so now we're just going to kind of work our way through the rest of it. It definitely makes a difference in the noise. I think this truck will be really, really quiet one of these days. But let's continue. This is what halfway looks like. I went back. I didn't go over this lip back here because we have some pieces that are going to set in there. I don't know. I may end up going over that a little bit, but I also think what I may do there is use some foam so the plastic doesn't rattle. Now there's some foam on the factory piece that you see back there in the back, but I think we'll probably be okay. The other thing is I need to get a new dome light so I can kind of position the stuff in that area too. And I thought I had one of these, but I don't. So I'm gonna have to go to a local like salvage yard or something and snag a couple of these. But now we got a pretty good start. Let's see if we can knock the rest of this out. At this point, I have the entire roof done other than the areas right here where I need to get these clips. Now, I found these clips online from GM. They're still actually available, but they're $6 a side and I can get them for probably free from a local salvage yard. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then I'll finish that little section there. But went front to back. I kind of left it open around the light. I don't think we're gonna have any problems. So what I've been doing is I've been taking these panels, which this one, by the way, I broke. I took out incorrectly. I'm gonna have to try to glue it. But I've been taking panels and putting them up kind of into place so I can see where I need to mark. So like the hole for that upper panel, there's obviously clips in the back, but there's a hole here for the piece that I broke off on each side. So I went ahead and poked that. But now what I think I'm gonna do, while the seat's still in and I've got a little bit of leeway, I'm gonna come on down this area right here, remembering that I've got to keep these clear because guys, trying to push through that's incredibly hard. But yeah, we'll work our way kind of down at least to here so it's not as uncomfortable when I've got the seat out. We've reached down as far as we can go and I'm ready to pull the seat out. But before I do that, I want to tell you guys that the little foam, like depending on what year you have, you may not have this, but this slides up and down. And I took this foam out because you can see how nasty it is and I want to clean back behind it. So I'm going to clean those up really quick off camera with my brush. I've got a detail brush down here. We're going to clean that out with a little product. Snap them back into place. They just unsnap, by the way. So if you ever want to know how these come out, these, if you get a pick back behind, pry those little tabs. Be careful because it's old plastic. But these snapped out without an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clean those up, snap them back in, and then we'll move the seat forward and see. I know I think there's only 4 bolts that hold this to the floor, but we need to get the seat belts out, which is always a challenge in these old trucks. Real quick, look at the difference between the one I cleaned and the one I didn't. Just using some Chemical Guys Total Interior. Look at the back of this, how dusty it gets. So we got all that off. Let's snap this one on the passenger side. I don't think they're side specific, so it doesn't really matter. And I don't think there's an up or a down either. Man, it's a mess back here. Anyway, we've got 2 18mm that are holding the belts in. You can see one there. There's another one on the other side that's holding the lap belt and the latch. Got some pennies and quarters back here for Cam. Let's get those unbolted. I'm going to use my impact real quick. And then we'll move on to the seats. Those are 18mm. These look to be about the same, actually. Got them both unbolted. This one has a seat belt hookup on it. I need to get unplugged, then we should be able to drag them through the seat. Now that we got those out of the way, these are actually 15mm, and there's only 4 of them, 2 on each side. But because this has a bolster adjustment, we've got a plug right here as well. You guys can see that kind of sneaks through here. We need to unplug that. Now there was another plug on the other side. These bolts came out so easy, guys. It's nice when you're not dealing with a rusty truck. But there was another plug on the other side, but it wasn't hooked up. There was no wires in it. So at this point, I wish this thing would fold down. For some reason, this isn't folding down. I think it's broken. But if I can get it to fold down, that would make my life a little easier. And I'm gonna have Cohen come out and help me. I'm gonna roll it on the jack, go jacks this direction, and then walk it out that other door to get it out of the way. Seat out. Now I'm gonna let Cam snag up these coins. I gotta get my bolts from the seat. And we're gonna start the cleaning process. I'm probably gonna leave the carpet in because it's really easier to work. I may even go get one of my chairs. I'm gonna clean this area right here, and then we're gonna kind of just work our way down on the back. But I may wait to pull the carpet out. We're gonna be replacing all the carpet anywho. But I'd like to do this area up top, so I'll clean it up really good and start wrapping that with the kill mat. I'm gonna clean this section off right here. You can see where I haven't gotten, but I am gonna go ahead and take the rear carpet off. We'll also be replacing it, and it should just be Christmas tree clips is what I call them. And looks like you have 5 of those across there. Now look, when we're wrapping this stuff, it's important, like I said earlier, holy cow, that dented that. All right, I gotta calm down. I'm gonna get something else to pry against here. That's, I've got a set of different tools. I mean, we're gonna cover that so you'll never see it, but that's bad. But anyway, we need to make sure we don't cover these holes. And like I said, it's really hard to press in. So like these up top, that's how that panel mounts. And it's incredibly hard to get that thing in if you cover these up. So I'm gonna mask, or not mask, but I'm gonna wrap this stuff around it, not even over it, and try to poke holes through it. I've just never had good luck with that either. So let's just get this guy off, wipe it down, and start wrapping. You can see I got my chair in here now. Anyway, we're switching off from the 50 mil to the 80 mil. So this stuff's gonna be quite a bit thicker. I'd like to have, I take that back. I'm gonna do 50 mil on this guy, just because I don't want to have any panel fitment issues. Underneath, however, we're gonna go to 80. I just think it's more solid. This is pretty flimsy back here. You're gonna get a lot of noise out of that. So that's what we'll do. We'll do 50 up top and then move to 80 when we get down below. Now that we've got all this area covered, rolled down, we're gonna move to the 80. Like I said, that stuff was 50. Now look, you're not gonna get as much in the boxes of 80 because obviously it's thicker. The other thing I will tell you guys is it is incredibly hard to cover this next section. And when I say that, the 80 for one, it doesn't conform quite as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attempt to cut sheets out of this that are like this big. Okay, so what is that? May go a little over. But it just makes it easier to roll in a section. And actually, what I may do is I'll probably start in the centers because it's easier to overlap on the inside. So basically, I'll run up a piece here or try to stay in the middle as much as possible. And then this sheet will roll over it. So I need to clean that off actually. And I'm not going to do the floor right now because I'm waiting on something else to show up. But what I am going to have to do is eventually I'm going to have to pull the carpet back. These won't cover, yeah, I was going to say they won't go all the way to the ground. So we'll be good with just doing the top for now. This actually worked out better than I thought. I got an area right here I need to fix, but okay. Look, you could see where we kind of ended on the bottom there. I think I am going to go ahead and pull the carpet out. I'm going to get some 7mm, I believe, and pull the little 4x6s out. Chances are I probably won't put any speakers back in there. Guys, you're not hearing anything from those. So in my opinion, kind of dumb to even have speakers back there. So we're going to take those out for a couple reasons. One, I may not replace them, but for two, I need to clean back there. And I want to continue our wrapping process down the sides. But I am going to go ahead and pull this nasty carpet out, which probably is going to be a nightmare. And actually, you know what? I may just fold it up for now, just to get it out of my way. You can see what I'm talking about on how gross this area is. We need to really get this cleaned up. Is that stuck? That's wild. But we need to get this cleaned up so we can then put this crap on the top side of it. But what I was saying is I'm planning on running a different seat in this. And so I can't wrap the floor until I'm ready, or till I have the brackets and the seats. Okay, so I've got to drill some extra holes, and you guys will see in the future what we've got planned for that. But you know what, for now I may just leave this since that's so nasty. Go ahead and pull out the speakers and start to work my way down. There's always interesting stuff under carpet. Okay, so it's pretty obvious. Decided to go ahead and pull this. Pulled the carpet, padding was still there. And guys, look at the floor. It's in really good shape, other than being dirty, you know, just dust. This thing must have been in a really, really dusty environment from the looks of it. But you can see I've went down, taken the speakers out, kind of cleaned that area up. And kind of the reason I took the carpet out is I'm down to these corners and the carpet's gross and there's dirt underneath it. And so I needed to kind of start fresh here. So what I'm going to do, for one, man, there's stuff everywhere. I need to get, oh, look at that. That's the fan motor cover. Okay, that's another day. Anyway, I'm gonna get the vacuum. I've got it hooked up here. I'm gonna vacuum some of this out. I'm gonna kind of wipe it down with some alcohol. And what I can do is I can go ahead and start doing, I think I can go to this area right here. Let me know too, I've never seen this, but there's like a big hole here and it had a pad over it. So I don't know if that's part of the, I'm assuming that's part of the spare tire jack. It's really odd. I've never seen that. Solid, it's not rusted. It almost looks like, and it could be possibly, guys, somebody came through that area with a stereo connection, and that may be what we do with that area, to be honest with you. Just put a grommet in there. But anyway, let's get this vacuumed out. We now have all of the back done. I've got the little ridge here, and I got to thinking, okay, so the seats that I'm going to use, they're going to be buckets, but the outers are going to bolt in the stock location. So what I can do is I can go ahead and come from the door jamb opening over to probably middle of this would be my guess. Maybe a little further than the middle, but we can go ahead and cover all the way up to the front. Now, I don't know exactly how much I'm going to do with this today or in this video, but I mean, it's got to be done. I guess it doesn't have to be done, but I'm going to do it. So we might as well just keep going. So you could see that I've really cleaned this up. I used some Windex because it's got ammonia in it. It helps pull up some stuff. And then I went over it with the alcohol again, so we get a nice good surface. I went ahead and cleaned here and here. As you can see, I've got all my wires piled up on the other side, so don't know exactly what the plan is there. I'll probably take those out and clean those all up, and then maybe do that side and then come back and put them in place. One of those wires is for the speaker for this side. The other one goes back to the back, and then obviously the third brake light, which is no longer there, and the dome light and whatnot is all wired through that same spot. So let's see if we can knock this side out at least. After a few hours, this is where I've gotten to. And guys, this is, it's a lot of work. It's not, it's really time consuming because the 80 mil is a little harder to lay than the 50 because it's thicker. And so it just takes a little more rolling out. You got to cut smaller pieces because it doesn't conform as easy to curves and whatnot. But you can see that I don't have that area over there done, but I did remove like the airbag module and all that stuff and kind of laid it out the door. I've got it on a towel so it doesn't scratch up my newly painted rockers or inner door trims. But yeah, it's coming along. And so I think this is where we're going to end this video. Look, a lot of people ask me, how much of this stuff are you using, right? So I will tell you guys that we started, this is a 50 mil box, or yeah, this is a 50 mil box right here. I started with a full box, and I've still got several sheets of 50 left. The 80, however, I started with a full box there, and I've got maybe 5 sheets left. Now, with that being said, we did 50 here and 50 up there. Now, the 50 is a lot thinner. Here we did 80, and here we did 80. So I think you would be covered, and I'll list this in the description down below as well as the rollers and whatnot, but I think you would be covered with a box of 50 and probably 2 boxes of 80. That's generally how I like to start. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. We got a lot more coming on this thing. Like I said, we're just trying to do some cheaper stuff. This stuff is like, I want to say it's $60 a box. So you can spend a weekend and what, 3 boxes, so 180 bucks worth of product, and drastically improve not only the sound of your stereo, but get rid of creaks and rattles and cut down on some road noises. But this thing's kind of like a puzzle, so it's got to go together in a certain way. Guys, the dash is going to be coming out of this truck. I wish that I had the seat brackets so I could go ahead, cut my, or drill my holes that I need, and then we could go ahead and finish wrapping the floor. But kind of this all sandwiches together. Like you saw, we took the headliner, well, the headliner's been out for a while, but the headliner has to go in, then the plastic piece in the center, then the side pieces. But before the side pieces can go in, you got to have the carpet in. You might be able to sneak under the edges, but I would rather have the carpet in. So yeah, it's kind of like a puzzle. And I have a feeling that when we go together with this thing, I'm going to put something in at the wrong time and end up having to take it back out. We've got some gluing to do. We've got some painting to do because we are going to be changing the interior color of this truck too. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please, like always, go down there and smash that thumbs up button. Guys, if you are not subscribed, go down and hit that subscribe button. Of course, like always, ring that bell notification. That will notify you every single time we drop a new video on this or anything else. Stay tuned to see what we work on next.